Hello, everybody. Good time zone, everybody. Welcome to Horde of Tales. My name is Marcus, also known as the Each Individual, and please do not yeet this unit. I am accommodated today by 4 fantastic individuals who last week celebrated this 1-year anniversary with us and decided that 1 year is not enough. They want to continue with this. And I want to quickly introduce you to this quartet of awesomeness. We have, of course, joining us again, Serial as Rebus. We have Ida coming in as Rain. Austin, of course, back as Dythun. And Caro as Delphine. Welcome, everyone. How are you all doing?
The weather is now the appropriate mid-November weather. Not that enjoyable, but it's there.
I think it's okay. It's not raining that much.
Yeah, I like autumn. It's started very gently, so I'm happy so far.
The best autumn days are the ones when it's just starting, when the sun shines after a good rain shower, and you get to have a walk through a forest with still a little bit of damp air, but there's all these red and golden colors leaves always around, and the sun is peeking through some clouds in the sky. Autumn
and then you have a small little dog who is just running through all the leaves and ends up as a leaf pile in the end.
Adorable. That is great, yeah. And another good thing about autumn is that it is not that long anymore until the holidays, until winter. And winter is by far the best season of the year. And if you disagree, I have some scientific facts for you. The scientific fact why winter is the best is because I say so. So who wants to argue against that?
Where do we subscribe for cool winter facts?
Let me get my 3-page document out.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so excited for winter and Christmas, and I booked. It's not like I booked like 5 packages of pre-made cookie dough today.
Yes.
It's in the fridge and it's ready for the oven. So,
have you tried eating it raw?
No.
Try it.
I will regret it.
No. Yes and no. You will regret it only because you will run out and you won't have any more, and that will be your regret.
The problem with this is not like this cookie dough that you can just eat like normally, because there are eggs and stuff in it. So I will regret it very horribly at some point.
The danger is what makes it delicious.
I agree with Ida on this. Just eat the cookie dough, it's fine.
Yeah. With millions of kids who, you know what, we haven't heard about the bad stuff that happened to them. Let's pretend it didn't exist. Let's pretend it's just
the bad stuff or the kids?
Yeah, exactly.
They're one and the same. Thank God I'm not a kid anymore. Oh, that's awful.
Just ignore the statistics you don't agree with.
So today on our cookie dough podcast,
we're going to show you how we're going to make a pie, and the pie we're going to make today is actually called playing D&D. How's that for a transition? We're
what flavor is the D&D pie?
Oh, yes, I like that. And I'm hungry now for pie and for this session. So that's how I'm going to get us over to that session, because we are here at Horde of Tales, and on Tuesdays on Horde of Tales, we do play Dungeons & Dragons. We are today on our 39th session of Convergence Manifesto, an adventure series set in the world of Eberron. Our adventurers are currently in a little intermezzo chapter called A Prophecy of Storms, which is not included in the adventure path we are playing, but if you want to see what kind of adventures we've had so far, in total 5 chapters, you can check out all adventures of Convergence Manifesto on acrosseberron.com. We play online on a virtual tabletop called Foundry Virtual Tabletop, and the music you hear while we play is from Dark Fantasy Studios. Our beautiful overlay was made by Caro, and the character art in our overlay is a co-op between Caro and Serial. And in case you encounter any kind of battle maps in our stream, those have been made in Dungeon Draft by Megasplood. I just love saying Megasplood. It's a great name. And also, we have Cat Vantage on the stream. Now, what is Cat Vantage? If you spot a cat on someone's stream, and I'm talking about a living, breathing cat, no kind of puppets, no kinds of other faux cats, and that is a real living cat that we're talking about. If you see one of those, you can use your channel points to give one of the players Cat Vantage. Like, use your channel points, and when you spend them, also tell us which player you want to give Cat Vantage. That's very important. Every player can always only have one dose of Cat Vantage, and that will be shown by a cute little cat, which I'm going to pop up at Ida's place right now, just so how you see. Wait a second, I was saying I pop it up at Ida's place. Where's Ida? There's Ida. Look, that image will show up, and she will not get that image while waving around that cat on a stick. That's not going to work. But if you see an actual cat, spend your channel points so that Ida and the other players can get Cat Vantage, which you can turn in to get advantage on a roll. Every player can hold only one dose of those, so don't give it to the same player twice. Also, just a little technical heads up. We have fancy subtitles in the bottom right corner, but due to some technical malfunctions, those for Serial are unfortunately not working today. Apologies for that. We're going to make sure that they're back next session again. But for all the other players, you can see in the bottom right corner of the stream also captions. So hopefully that will help follow along and clarify what we're saying here. With all of that being said, time to roll the intro. Be right back. And we are back, and we start our session today with a quick little recap, because this session is going to start in combat. But how did we get here? What brought us to this turn of events? Well, last session our party continued their attempt at freeing their companion Delphine, who had a bounty put on her head by her very own family and decided to turn herself in. Finding also out that the matron of House Lyrandar, Baroness Esravash de Lyrandar, had put that bounty on her head for some strange reasons, which might involve mysterious draconic prophecies and other strange things. Meanwhile, the rest of the party, disguised as tourists led by Delphine's cousin, Darien de Lyrandar, toured the Lyrandar Plaza and bumped into a painter or at least Dythun bumped into a painter called Haral, and they soon found out that this painter was more than just a painter. Actually, probably somehow linked to Delphine's father, Leowin, in an attempt to assassinate the Baroness.
You know, as it happens. Very normal stuff.
That conversation, however, in a room that Haral was supposed to paint, got interrupted as Rain looked out the window and actually witnessed Delphine fleeing from her own room after Delphine actually had a conversation with the Baroness herself. One jump from Delphine led to a jump from rain, which led to jumps from the rest of the party. Alarms were triggered, guards were swarming out, and there was a little bit of hustle and tussle at the end of our previous session. And now we are going to continue the fight in which we already started last session. Now, my dear players, we have the initiative order in Foundry, if you want to use that to keep track of whose turn it is. And you can, in Foundry then, on the right side, open that initiative. And if I look at that initiative order correctly, it should start all with Rebus at the top of the initiative. So, Rebus, what are you going to do?
Well, I would like to, if I remember correctly, I was raging and
Yes.
in the middle of trying to attack the guards, so I'll continue to do that because I can. Let me just find the, here we go, the little map so I can know where I am. I don't think I can move myself right now, but I'll just go to the guard that is like right below me and attack.
Yes.
If yeah. Oh my god. Where are my actions? Sorry, I have like my iPad is a mess right now. But yeah, here we go. I'll try to hit with my 2 attacks. That was really bad. A 9 to hit.
9. That
Which
will
I
unfortunately
don't think
not do it.
does anything.
No, unfortunately not.
Attack, also really bad. 12.
Also, not enough to hit the guard.
So yeah. I guess I missed both attacks. Great.
Anything else on your turn?
That's I'll keep moving, but I don't want to leave the range with the guards, so I'll just move slightly down on the diagonal opposite of Delphine, since we were going
Like-
south anyway.
Like this?
Yep, that'll do it. Perfect.
All
Thank you.
right. That brings us... It would be Delphine's turn at this point, but we ended last session with Delphine basically fleeing the premises. And Delphine, if you don't mind, I will get to you in a moment as
Sure.
we resolve this round of combat. So I will hop on over to one more of these guards, who is actually also just chase. So is this one, chase. And then we have this one, who is also just gonna chase. And that leads us to... It leads us to Typhoon.
Wonderful. So... Typhoon is going to, I think, just take a round of attacks on this guard in front of him.
Because why wouldn't
How do
you?
I... There we go, that one.
Gotcha. Swing away.
That's not gonna hit.
Well.
I'm not even gonna calculate that one. That's a 2.
Odds are
no.
low.
I'm not that high level yet to make that still hit. That's a little bit better. That's 17 with my longsword.
Your longsword comes down on the guard, and The guard just quickly in response in the last moment brings up their own weapon and parries it.
Alrighty. I think in that case, I am just going to bonus action. Daunting Roar. Select both of these guards within my 10-foot radius. And I would like both of them to make a wisdom saving throw of 14.
Wisdom saving throw, DC 14, coming right up for both of them. That first one is a 12, so fails that. And the other one is a 21. So the one up here, that one is pretty No, it's not unconscious.
I mean,
It
hey,
is
I'll take
pretty
it.
spooked by you. But the other one is holding his ground, and the blades are still clashing against each other and locking eyes with you.
Alrighty. Well, that's my turn.
That is your turn, and that brings us
Do I?
actually
Okay.
to the guard right in front of you, who is not frightened of you at this point, and who is going to take 2 swings at you. That is a natural 1. We're off to a good start. Let's try this again.
Everything's going so smoothly for everyone.
And this is a 9 plus, I'm pretty sure a 14 does not hit.
Nope.
That goes wide and ends that guard's turn. The other guard is frightened by a roar, if I'm not not mistaken, correct?
That is correct.
And
So
that means-
until the end of my next turn, they are frightened.
Gotcha. Disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. The creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear. It can, however, still try to attack you, but does so with disadvantage. So I'm going to roll with quivering legs. This guard is going to take a first swing at disadvantage against you. Nope. And second swing. Both of them go wide as the fear makes it hard to hit you, and that ends. You know what? He didn't hit you, so he's gonna book it. Do you want to take an opportunity attack?
I'm having trouble remember. Have we hit the guard running much at all?
Let me double check for you.
Because if it was still last session, I might remember.
He did. You hit a few times on that one already.
Is there a door or anything in that direction?
Yeah. There's a way. There's an escape path there.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and take an opportunity attack.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I need to roll for that. I know how the dragons works. Oh, this is going so smoothly. 19.
19, that hits, so roll for damage.
Okay, yay, finally. I'll roll for this one. 3.
3. Well,
Need new
3
dice.
damage is 3 damage. So you scratch him a bit as he runs away. That ends his turn and brings us to Rain, who, just to remind people, had summoned a fog cloud that is still lingering there, and she has already flown up about 20 feet up into the air.
Yeah,
And a little
diagonally
bit
we're going.
diagonally to get towards a window, while the guard on the ground is still fumbling about in the fog cloud. So, what would you like to do, Rain?
The fog cloud is concentration, 1 hour even. Heavily obscured, so I don't even see the guard in my own fog cloud. Then I'm going to all my movement and action to dash. I want to get back into the room that Rain flew out of.
Gotcha.
Everyone else just fell.
It's gonna be.
Excuse me, I descended very gracefully.
As cats do.
When you your movement is 30 feet, right?
Flying 30. So yeah.
Flying 30, so you dash as well, so it's 60 feet that you get in a turn.
Yes.
I'd say within one turn, you can get back to the window through which you jumped out of. So
I want to
you-
literally fly through the window and just land inside the room, crouch, duck, and turn around. Quickly, do I see our two friends in the room still?
you see, as you land in the room, that the door of the room is open, and that neither Darian nor Haral are in the room anymore.
Joy, I think to myself. And what Rain will do, we'll find out on the next turn. But she's here now.
She's here now. That is true. And that leads us to one more guard. Actually, the guard who is down in the fog cloud.
I maintain
and
concentration.
that you maintain concentration on. And that guard is just down in that fog cloud, just looking around like, what? No. She wanted help. What? Walking around in there and wasting his turn at this point. Talking about turns, there are, even though as we move into the next round, we have the party at this point basically split around multiple scenes. We have Delphine, who has fled further southward. We have Dythun and Rebus, who are still fighting with some of the guards here at this point. And Rain, who has flown back into the room from whence all of you came, or most of you came. And we're basically going to have 3 little scenes here. For this, I will have us drop out of initiative, and I'm just going to go jump cut to jump cut to jump cut to people, and we're going back out of initiative and more into a description of what is going to happen. So, ending combat right here, and just putting us a little bit on a more, just a little bit of a more waiting screen. Let's see, put it like this. Da-da. And while the action music is still going, I first want to check in with Delphine. Delphine, you have been running further southwards, and you know this compound well. You grew up around here, you know the roads, and you know that from this garden, you come through some other parts of this complex, and sooner or later, you, with your ridiculous speed, powered by your expeditious retreat spell, you come through a hallway that is open on one side, a sort of gallery-like hallway, and on the open side there's another little garden patch, and across that garden there's entrances to more parts of the entire palace. As you dash there, what is going on in your head, or what is going through Delphine as she's running?
So several things at once. Basically, okay, need to find a spot that is more or less safe. Like, okay, I'm outrunning the guards anyway at that point.
Right.
So, but like needing really need a spot where they might not find her immediately. Then like there is one part in her mind where she is kind of like, she didn't want to have the others of the group like getting that involved in this.
Hmm.
So yeah, but they are they did it anyway, so that's okay. So, and yeah, also like, and plus the fact of like she doesn't know really. I mean, there's like this ideas of what was going on with the matriarch and everything, but it's not like as if it is totally clear what's going on there. And there's some part where it's still like, yeah, she's the matriarch of the house. It's like, okay, she can basically do whatever she wants at that point, but it's also like, yeah, Delphine already went through her trial. She suffered a lot through this whole stuff, and there's some kind of fate towards the matriarch because of that shit right now.
Right. And as all of that goes through you, running through, you also noticed that the weather here has quickly changed. Clouds have moved in faster than they usually do. There are these dark, I think you call them cumulus clouds, these large, thick clouds that are at some places almost black, and you can already see lightning crackling inside of them, and rain starts coming down out of these clouds. This is not the first time that you have seen such a fast weather change around here. House Lyrandar involves rain callers for this reason, to control the weather and to have influence on the weather, especially for airship and sea travel. But you also know that rain callers are called upon in defense, in making it harder for people to escape. And it's at this point, Delphine, I would like you to make a perception check, please.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh shit, I still have the wrong character sheet open. It's not great. It's absolutely not great at all. So this is an 8.
8. From all that you described to us just right now, what's going on in Delphine's mind, I think we can all imagine that there's just so much going on running through you at this point that being fully aware of your environment is a challenge. And especially now that the rain comes pouring down, you just keep running, focused on getting away. And as you cross the gallery, can you also give me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh, fuck. I should change the die. He betrayed me already. Another 8.
You run. You see the end of the gallery ahead of you. You know that at the end there, you go through a door, there's another few staircases down. You could probably already get into, actually, the city of Stormhome, out of this palace, if you make it to that door. But as you focus on that door, you suddenly feel your entire body going stiff, and you just fall forward as something paralyzes you. As you fall to the ground, you land sideways on one of your shoulders so that you're looking out into the gallery, into the garden, and you can see on the other side of the garden, on the rooftop, you see a gnome standing up on the rooftop and reflecting in the light of some torches. You see some, what looks like binocular glasses that he pulls up. And in one hand, you see that's still a glowing wand that has just been used. And that gnome pulls up his glasses, smirks, and then shouts down from the rooftop, "Got her, Captain!" And coming through the garden in armor and the tabard of House Lyrandar, you see the familiar waving hair of Maedrith de Lyrandar coming towards you. And as that happens, we switch the scene over to Dythun and Rebus as you're still in the courtyard. Both of you are flanking one of these guards who is now just trying to defend against an assault from a Leonin fighter and a Warforged barbarian, and he is not having a good time. You are, however, both of you aware that Delphine has run off somewhere, and as you look up, you see rain zoofing by over you, back into the room where you came from, while you see a fog cloud also over there. What do the two of you do?
Has that guard that's running away, like, gotten away?
He has gotten away. Like, you hit him, you still
Oh,
like
God.
brushed him with your sword
Just-
as he
Mhm.
ran away, but yeah, he's gotten into the building, so he's on the run.
All right. I don't want witnesses, but that's a problem for later. I guess just trying to knock this guard out.
All right.
Going for non-lethal.
Going for non-lethal. Can you give me one attack roll for that? See how that
Sure.
goes?
Very well. Math.
Math.
Simple math. Very simple. 24. I don't know why that wasn't working.
You want to just knock him out, right? Just non-lethal
Yes.
anyway. Make sure. Like that guard, you have to imagine, Delphine, you're on one side of the guard, and on the other side of the guard is a raging warforged with a tail made out of cables and everything. And this guard is just trying to stay alive. But as he's like turning around, looking at Rebus, trying to dodge the tail and everything, you have the perfect angle to hit between the helmet and the shoulder plates against the neck with your pommel, and the guard just goes unconscious to the ground. While you also hear behind you, coming from a fog cloud, you hear behind you someone, "Where did you go? What is this? We need backup! Backup!"
I think at that point, trying to like reach out to Rebus, like, I need you to calm down. We need to leave and probably get back up if we can. We don't have a lot of time. I need you to just settle down, calm down, stop being this.
Oh, I just screech and growl and hold my shattered face and just... You can see the tail flailing about, but I think I eventually managed to... I haven't hit anything, and nothing has hit me in this time, so rage would end anyway, so I think that kind of helps. I lean onto my glaive and the blade starts shifting, and the red light turns yellow again, and I look at Delphine and say, okay, I'm here, where are we going?
Up, let's go. And like, kind of like grabbing Rebus by the shoulder and like shuffling them along.
Gotcha. How are you planning to get back up? Are you just gonna like
I don't
climb
know
up the
yet.
wall or something, or are you maybe want to go indoors to look for stairs back up? What's your approach?
Would it, like, how viable does climbing this side feel? Like, does it seem possible?
For considering that both of you on your way down were more or less capable of breaking your own fall just along the wall, holding on to things, slowing down, I would consider both Rebus and Delphine athletic enough to at least try to climb up the wall to see if you like pull yourself up at kind of like bricks that stick out, reach out to any kind of roofs and stuff like that. It would at least be possible for the two of you. It's not going to be easy, but it would be
Yeah.
possible.
Is there a
Delphine-
crowd? Are they alone? Like, did the courtyard empty out?
Well, there's still like, there's the guard that ran away, there's one of them that they knocked unconscious, and there is the guard stuck in the cloud. But the alarm bells are still ringing, so it's probably a matter of time before more people come in here, and you had one of the guards running away. So you're also on a timer here unless you want more audience for what you're going to do.
Yeah, Dythun is thinking if we go inside, one of the guards will recognize us. And if we stay here, more are coming, and at least there's that. We
Right.
broke the magical spells within that room, so if we can get there, as far as he's concerned, nobody saw us go in there that is currently conscious. So
That's fair.
he's
That's a good.
trying to.
Yep.
He's thinking if we can not be here as quickly as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Clear.
So he's gonna start climbing up and trying to help Rebus get up as well.
Cool. So, Rebus, you're also climbing along?
Yep.
Perfect. I need athletics checks from both of you, please.
Look at that happy
Ta-da.
face.
That's what I
Let's do
wanted.
it.
That's all I ever want. That's a natural 20.
Oh, let's go for a total of what?
25.
I rolled a 5, so that would be an 11 for Rebus.
So, Dythun, with your feline grace and your fighting strength, you can like quickly make the first feat of climbing upwards quickly and swiftly. And as you already perch up on a little area where you can crouch down, you look backwards and you see Rebus like trying to pull up, but there's still, from just having come out of rage, there's still some of the servos and some of the things that are maybe a little bit overtaxed, a little bit exhausted from
Yeah, there's a couple of like plates that haven't like folded up neatly, and so it's like keeping Rebus from being able to like lift one of their arms. It's a
Yeah.
mess.
And
Dythun, just like Glaive. Trying to pull them up with the glaive.
and you continue pulling up, and it takes some effort, and it especially, more importantly, takes time, because while you are helping Rebus to come further up, you see from the other side of the courtyard, there is not just a bunch of 6 guards coming in, but you also see a figure with just a lighter kind of leather kind of armor stepping in, and seeing the fog cloud, raise one hand, and the fog cloud just disappears. And that figure steps in there, looks around the courtyard, and sees both of you climbing up on the wall, and just shouts over to the guards, "There! Get them!"
Okay, Marcus, can I make myself rage and use the form of the beast with claws, and using that kind of different like shapeshift, use the claws to climb the wall better.
Even
If
though
you
they've
stand-
seen you?
Sorry, come again, Ida?
Even though they've seen you, Rebus?
Yeah, I'd rather be up there than down with a bunch of guards.
You screw over right, see what happens.
So if you expend another rage, you can just pop out your claws, and Dythun, while you're helping Rebus getting up with the glaive, you see that Rebus then, like, the light goes red again, the claws come out, and they just
oh no.
claw into the wall on their way up, as both of you are making your way upwards and back into the open window. But while both of you are doing this, there has been things happening also to Rain. Rain, we're going a little bit back while your companions were still down in the courtyard. You have just landed in the room. The door is open. There is no sign of Harald the painter. There is no sign of Darian the Darian. And
Darian.
you're there in the room. The door's open. Alarm bell's still going. What do you do?
Darian! Harald!
Can you give me a perception check, please, with disadvantage?
My. Oh no! One of them was a nat 20. The other is a total 14.
You whisper, shouting for names. Shouting.
Stage whisper.
Yeah, stage whisper. Yes, you stage whisper. And you look around, and there's no sign of them. No response to that.
I go up to any closet and I pull out any overcoat I can find, anything to cover my head with.
Most of the furniture in this room is just old furniture they stored in this room, probably for renovation or something. But you find not in a closet, but there's this old-fashioned treasure chest stuck somewhere in the corner, which you open up, and on the top of it is this gaudy fur coat, like really thick fur coat.
Okay, fine. Stick up the fur coat, get any shawl ready, just really sloppily wrap it around my head so I'm not like this giant finned blue individual. And the door is open. I want to look out the hallway and try to get to a different room to see if I can find Haral and Darian.
Okay. With a shawl that you also pulled out from there, it's a very vibrant red shawl wrapped around your head.
It's turbaned.
Turban, perfect.
Yeah.
You go to the open door, peek out, and you can see out in the hallway swarming with guards. You see throughout the hallway at the doors, there's like groups of clusters of 3 and 4 guardsmen getting instructions from what look like officers who are just going from room to room, looking for any kind of threat. They haven't spotted you yet as you lean out of the room, but there's a lot of guards here.
Okay, if you're saying there's like a swarm of guards, she's going to step back into the room, leave the door adjacent as ajar as it was. And because this was a safe room, I'm hoping it's going to be a safe room, but either the player knows it's not going to be very soon. We're going to cast on myself invisibility. Where is it? There we are.
You cast invisibility on yourself,
and
no longer showing anyone your turban and your new coat that you found.
And I literally go hide into a corner of the room.
And as you go invisible, you actually hear sounds from the window. And you go into a corner, and you see climbing in through the window are Dythun and a raging Rebus coming in through the window.
No, go away! Get out here!
Could I, by the way, as both of you are climbing in, Dythun and Rebus, could I get dexterity saving throws from both of you, please?
Would Rain have also noticed in this quick succession of things that my other spell was forcefully stopped?
Absolutely.
Rain gets a little goosebumps. Like, uh-oh. Someone's didn't come to play either.
Dexterity saving?
15.
Dexterity saving throw, yeah.
14 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it something we can see?
Yes. For your danger sense, you get advantage on that.
Okay. Still 15.
Both of you do succeed, as both of you
Good.
avoid a charge of electricity that is being flung at you, and it just goes wide next to you as you pull yourself into the room. And Rain, you can actually see as the two come in, you just see lightning scattering against the wall and the window, and they just evade it.
Keep quiet. I am hiding to
Rain,
everyone and anyone coming into this room, including my allies at this point, because they're gonna give me away.
did I hear Rain say, like, go away?
No, I was in Rain's mind to Rain.
Oh, okay.
So, Dythun Rebus, you step into a room. There's also no one else here in the room, as far as you can tell. You only see there is a chest that has been opened, and there's all kind of old clothing in that chest and something. But for the rest, you don't see anyone else here.
All right. I'm not gonna open the door, but I'm gonna walk to the door because it's like ajar and like listen. Like, are things getting louder and closer?
You go up to the door and listen into if you can hear anything.
It was ajar. It was
Yeah.
Yeah. You have it ajar. You walk up to the door, lean a little bit, gain to listen. Can you give me a perception check, please?
That's great. 17.
17.
Mhm.
Already on your way to the door, you You're not even at the door yet to lean forward and listen in, but as you walk up to the ajar door, from the other side, the door is opened, and you're looking right at a guardsman that's looking at you. You're still a few feet away from the guardsman, but there's one guardsman, and you can look over their shoulder. There's another one right behind them, and you hear a guardsman say, "Freeze! Drop your weapons!"
I like, my head just, like, snaps in the direction, and I just dash to, like, I charge them. Because I have rage,
like,
so...
pushing.
I'm
gonna try to shove them back out the door.
So, Rebus, you charge your head, leaping at them in your bestial form. Can you give me an attack roll, please?
Yep. Oh god. This is so chaotic.
What are we doing?
I'm not going that way.
We can't fight a whole stronghold.
Oh no.
We can, but do we want to?
15 to hit.
15. You rush towards them. You claws, your weight and everything pushes against the soldier, pushes them back a little bit, and also because Delphine also like shoved a little bit, you put your weight against them. But there's another soldier right behind them who's also pushing against them. So now they're sandwiched in between their own colleague and you, a raging warforged murder machine with red glowing lights right at them. And you just hear, but all of you, Rain, you also hear this. Out of the hallway, you hear someone shout, "Oh fuck, they got a warforged!" And that's where we switch the scene over.
Does charging in 5th edition have any like advantage or anything like that? No. Okay.
No.
Just
we switch over back to Delphine, who is completely unaware of everything that is happening to her companions at this point. Delphine, you are paralyzed on the ground. The only thing you can move at this point are your eyes, basically. Looking around, you can see. When you try to speak, you notice that your lips, they're hardly moving. It's hard. The only thing you can get out is just these croaking sounds. And coming towards you is your cousin Madrith, who comes a few steps closer to you and then looks up at the rooftop where you saw that gnome standing with his binocular goggles and his wand. And Madrith looks up, waves at him. "Good shot. Report back to the officer. I can take it from here." And the gnome looks and just starts climbing over the rooftop out of the scene. Madrith comes closer. And she's now next to you, and she goes down on her knees, looks at you, and she really carefully seems to really carefully touch your face. As if she's checking if there's not some kind of illusion cast over you or anything. If there's no kind of trickery going on here.
Can I growl at her? Can I still do that?
You can at best muster you could muster a growl coming out. And she looks at you. "I'll be damned. It's really you." She looks around again. Reaches into a pocket. Pulls out what looks like some kind of little bean. "All right. I don't know what kind of stupid stuff you were planning. Why you got yourself in here. But whatever you and your friends did, the entire stronghold is on alert right now. I don't know what I can do for your friends. And I don't know what the initial plan was that you were pulling here. But I think it's best for you to try to get out. I'll tell them you broke the enchantment. and I'll deal with the paperwork and everything. And you can see this little bean that she has. I can put this in your mouth. You just have to... It's going to take a moment to take effect. It's going to break the spell that was put on you. But I need you to groan once if you are going to then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, she makes that sound once.
And Madrid nods, and she like very gently like puts this little bean into your mouth. What's Delphine's favorite taste?
That's actually a very good question.
Sea salt. Berries.
Probably like a very, very good aged whiskey.
A very good aged whiskey. And you notice that as she puts the thing on your tongue, there's slowly this bite of a good aged whiskey filling your mouth, slowly going down your throat. And you do notice that your fingers can slowly be moved again. Your arms are free again. And Madrid just gets up and says, "No, stand down! Stand down! You are under arrest for House Lyrandar. I cannot let you go." You can slowly start moving again as Madrid is putting on this little act here.
Looking towards her while I'm slowly getting up and like getting the feel back into the limbs. It's like, I have no clue what you are pulling here.
Just get out. Make sure you can hide somewhere. I have ways of finding you. I'll explain to you what I'm doing here, if you can then explain to me what you're doing here, cousin.
Fair.
Right now, shoot.
Okay.
Wait. Punch me.
You sure?
It's gotta look convincing, but really, come. And she
Okay, then I'm making 2 unarmed strike attacks against her.
I would
like,
also say, since she wants to be punched, you can make these with advantage, just to see how good they go.
Will
Basically,
or won't Delphine smite?
no, I need to save my spell slots for later, you know. Okay, the first is just a punch, basically in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is very good. Oh, yeah, this is a 21 for the first hit.
Gotcha. Perfect.
And the second one is basically a good placed kick on behind her like leg so that she's falling down.
Right. So first the face and then a kick.
And that's 18.
18.
Thanks for the
Both
advantage.
of those. Yeah, you first hit the face, and Madrid did not think that you would go for a second attack, especially for such a sweeping kick. And she's like about to recover from the punch to the face, but then you kick the leg out under her, and she tumbles over, and you can actually hear like oof as she falls on her back, clinking of the armor. And from the ground, once she recovered a bit, she looks up at you with a cheeky
You wanted it
smirk on
real.
She just smirks at you.
Then getting away.
And you run out. Meanwhile, at a door in a room where a warforged pushed one soldier into another, a Leonin is standing by, and there's an invisible Triton in the room as well. What are you doing?
Are they in the room or at the door?
They're at the door.
Going to close the door.
You wanna like shove the door closed?
Yes.
All
I
right,
don't
give
know
me
at this point.
give me an. I'm gonna do some contesting athletics checks. You're gonna roll athletics, and I'm gonna roll athletics. So
I dropped my dice. Charlie, I pick up the dice. Here.
Also,
I
I think you might have to get me out of the way, because I'm literally like, I guess, pushing the guard or trying to claw at him.
Rebus, if you would see Dythun trying to close the door, would you get out of the way, or would this make it harder for Dythun to close the door?
The dice would be like, move, get.
Okay. The thing is, logically, here's the thing. I am raging and I want to rip this guard to pieces. Right now. Like, I have forgotten about any kind of, because there's also not like a plan that so I'm like, I would try and exit the room and take the guards with me, like outside. So if Dythun closes the door, he closes it behind me.
All right.
Well, that makes things a little bit difficult. Oh well, bye.
Maybe to
Sorry!
make the choice to add to that choice, Dythun. There's currently 2 guards that Rebus is pushing against, but you see more guards out on the hallway. They could come and overwhelm you in this room if they come to this room.
You could probably try and grab Rebus, like pull them inside.
Actually, I can do that. I'm gonna. If I can mechanically superiority dice bait and switch.
So you would.
Oh!
Just
That's so
like
smart.
shield in front of Rebus, spin them out of the way, and then shield up against the guards.
I try to swipe at the guard.
That is excellent. If you spend the superiority dice for that, you can absolutely do that. But that would mean that you basically swap places with Rebus, right?
Yeah, I went to do that, and D&D Beyond just crashed. That's fun.
Oh,
Perfect, but however, as you bring up your shield, push Rebus behind you, getting into their place now. The door is still open, but you're in Rebus' place, Dythun. Do you still want to like close the door behind you?
I guess he can take a step back at this point, right?
Well, I mean, if I swapped places, you're still right behind me.
Right.
I think at this point, Dythun's just gonna like hold down and just
I feel like if you separate me from the guards, I'll stumble back a couple steps, because I am trying to not do this really stupid thing. It's just
I think Dythun's just gonna like stand here for a minute, like Rebus, just leave, just get out, just out the window, out the courtyard. It's better than in here.
You hear a voice pipe up and say, "Out the window, indeed. What are you doing?"
seriously.
What? You two, get out! He's just like shield up
if you say
trying to stop them from coming in.
Dude, if you literally say to like Raging Rebus, get out of here, out the window, like they will just jump out of the window
Fine.
Sure, that
in
works.
like all fours, kind of just leap out.
Right.
Rebus is not a logical fella right now. Just
Yeah, but Rain is kind of in the feeling like we ain't got time for this.
No, because Dythun, even if you bait and switched here, I still need you to do an athletics check to see how much you can hold off the guards who are trying to come in here.
Is
Yeah,
Dyphon trying
absolutely.
to close, doing this against a closed door?
Well, I'm like in the doorway, so I just
Yes.
need Rebus to get out, and then I'm just trying to stop them from
Rebus-
coming in. So he's gonna like try to close the door after this, but
Rebus is getting out because Rebus just
Yeah.
mentioned that when they hear Rain go to say like get out of the window,
Yeah.
Rebus is getting out, so you have space behind you. But this
Yeah.
is now also a matter of athletics. Like, can you keep the door closed against these guards pushing against it?
Because if rain
Yeah.
helps.
Make it with advantage.
Perfect.
Invisibly.
That's a 14. Ooh, why does this dice keep falling? Probably because the cattail keeps knocking it off as I roll it. Oh well, new dice. That was a 14. That okay. 19.
19. Rebus runs out. The door's closed as Dythun leans against it, shield in front. An invisible bit of extra weight is added from Rain leaning against it. But there is multiple people on the other side are trying to push against the door. Both of you together can barely hold it closed at this point. And you just feel weight pushing against it. And as you're so close to the wall, to the door, you can actually hear one of the guards saying, "All right, let's just break it down."
Dyson will
And-
hear telepathically. Go to the window. Get out of the compound. Now, regroup. I will be behind you shortly. Leave the window open for me.
Right. Is there like anything next to the door he can like pull down in front of it as he bolts away?
There's a dusty and cloth-covered bookshelf that you could pull down.
Good enough. He's gonna like one motion, like pull it down and bolt towards the window.
As soon as that happens, Rain flies up above the door frame and starts flying along the ceiling to the window as well.
The moment you fly up, Rain, just inches away from you, you see a blade coming through the door. They're starting to hack through the door, and there's a sword coming through the door, and on other places also as you fly up to the ceiling. Dythun, you were
Here's in
darting
his
to the
head.
window, right?
Mhm.
So, and Rain, you're basically also getting to the window.
Yep, via the ceiling.
Okay. So what I'm gathering, in one form or another, all of you in this room are going back out of the window and trying to get
Yep.
out of the compound. Perfect.
Rain will telepathically say to Dyson, I will meet you outside the compound. Do not take any more detours. Bye. As once Rain is out the window, she's going to go a vertical route up and about. Up and
Gotcha.
around.
Rain just hears back in her head like, I thought we were getting to a safe place.
You
My
ruined the
bad.
safe place.
And
Whatever.
with that, we do see first a raging Rebus jumping out of the window, landing back in the garden, and just there are actually Rebus, you basically land next to two guards who just see your intimidating figure as they step back and you run past them. Following shortly after Rebus is Dythun, who also gets out of there again, and Rain is just invisibly circling the compound, while Delphine is somewhere getting out as well. And how this continues, we're going to find out after a short break that we're going to take. First break for today, we're going to take a 5-minute break, so we'll be back in 5 minutes. Please take a chance to recover from this chaotic start of our session as we see where this will go for the rest of the evening. Get a drink, take your meds, and love and cuddle your pets. We'll be back in 5 minutes. See you in 5. And we are back for the second part of today's session. Our protagonists are just trying to book it out of the Lyrandar Palace, while also trying to see if they can prevent some loose ends. We are in a bit of a jump cut, split screen, split party situation. But hey, what else is new in Heart of Tales, right? To continue with our chaotic scene we have here, I would first like to start off with Rain, who is invisible, up in the air, and just told Dythun and Rebus to get out so that they can reconvene later. But at this point, you're on your own, Rain, up in the air. What would you like to do?
Up in the air, I see like bodies converging, and I am looking for a half-orc female, and a very dandily dressed half-elf running. As I flying
Now-
by, like keeping a bit of a distance from windows as well, because I know there might be periphery of detection.
I almost have the feeling that spotting one of these two is easier than the other. As you're up in the air with your peripheral, you have a good view of the Lyrandar palace/compound beneath you. Lots of galleries connecting buildings with gardens and ponds in between. And while you're scanning the periphery and everything, can you give me a perception check, please?
Nope, I cannot.
Total?
3.
Oh. You look around and you see there's a lot of movement going on. There's guards everywhere. You can still hear the ringing of the alarm bells. The only thing you would gather is that you see most of the guards moving to one specific part of the palace. They are moving to this domed area in the center of the palace.
Haral said she was going to go kill the matriarch. That domed place, if I were a matriarch, looks like the center, the nicest, the well-defended. Maybe matriarch would go there. An assassin could go there. I'm gonna start hovering over in that direction. Still trying to every now and then dip down, look through a window, go back up.
Like basically just quickly peeking in through windows and seeing if you can spot anything, anyone you are looking for. You dip down, look through windows, more guards moving. There's also palace personnel who are walking around being interviewed by the guards if they've seen anything. Once you look into windows, you see there's this dwarf chef who's talking about that he hasn't had this kind of ruckus in 30 years of working here. There's all those kinds of little things that you pick up on. And would you be you keep generally moving towards that dome in the center, right? Or was that
Towards that dome, because Rain's logical thinking at this point is the chaos is going to work in Haral's favor very much.
right?
And
Right.
yeah, I need to find out what is going on. I need to get Darian.
Gotcha.
Rain hates to admit it, but she kind of wants to protect Darian at this point as well.
All right. You get towards the domed area and you notice that mingled in with the guards, the closer you get to the dome, the more often you also see people that you with your expertise can identify as spellcasters, but also the kind of spellcasters who are very well prepared. You see with some of the guards, there are actually spellcasters who have these wand bandoliers strapped over their chest, and you have seen this also in Sharn before. These elite magical guardsmen actually, and they are also patrolling up and down, and you see more and more of these kind of guards the closer you get to the dome. Your big advantage at this point is that you're still invisible, and that you got invisible in a place where it didn't trigger any additional alarms. And so far, you don't have the idea that you still being invisible is triggering any kind of other sensors or things like this. On the other hand, the alarm bells are still ringing, so who knows?
Okay.
What you would also
yeah, go ahead.
What you would also notice, shortly before you would come close to one of these large archway entries that would lead into the dome, you see in an alcove in one of the galleries. I wouldn't say you see it, but you hear it first.
Mm-hmm.
You hear Darian's voice, who goes like, "This is an outrage! How could you? I will not be treated like this. I am a member of the family. I do not have to answer questions to a guard like you." And as you fly by, you see that Darian is standing there, and there's two guards standing next to him, and one of them goes like, "Lord Darian, I'm very sorry, but we have witnesses who confirm the story that you've been seen with some of the individuals that we are currently looking for, and we can do this a friendly way. or we can take you further in. Take me in?
Connection.
Zhup.
Do you want to lift out?
He has a hard time keeping a smirk down. And he just telepathically shouts back, yes, please.
Go get some fresh air by the window. And God, I hope you're not too heavy.
Now has a hard time keeping down a different expression. And he goes to the guards. I need to breathe for a moment. I can't stand in your accusations. And he wanders over to the opening of the gallery and he stands there and he goes like,
As Darian is going, at this point, Invisible Rain literally just snakes her arms between his, underneath his shoulders. And, oh fuck. We're both medium-sized creatures. Rain is not that noodly strength. She has some, she's constitution-y and strength-y a bit. But at that breathe in, I want to try to get him up and dash up and away. away from the dome, because I know you said there were like dangerous spell sniping baddies.
yeah.
Rain knows their capacities, so she has to go the opposite direction.
You already mentioned that both of you are medium-sized creatures.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that Rain is not noodly armed.
No.
But
Not
Rain
that
is
noodly armed.
still trying to lift up another person and try to fly away with them as fast as possible.
Yes.
Could I please have an athletic check from
I
you?
needed the cat advantage. Okay. You know what? No. I'm gonna
Do you
roll.
still have it?
I'm gonna roll with the chunk. No, I didn't have it this round yet. Come on, chunk. Please don't let me down. Please don't let me down. Please don't let me down. That was a leap of faith. The total is, I rolled a 14. My athletics is +1. That is a 15. Please, that will be enough. Please, that will be enough. Please.
Okay.
To
That's
the
fair,
guards.
right?
We basically see the scene from the vision of the guards. One of the guards leaning over to the other, whispering in his ears, goes like, "Man, I always hated Darian." And Darian is already too far away to hear as he's standing at the window, inhaled so loud. And at first the guards are like caught up in their own gossip about Darian de Lyrandar, but then they notice that he's going off the ground. And at first they think he's just getting on his tippy toes, like he's starting to stretch, or maybe he's going to some kind of quick workout routine or something. You never know with him. And then they notice that his feet go off the ground. At first, a little bit slow. No. And then, as Rain puts in all her back and the arms...
What have you been eating?
And you get him off the ground, and you also were dashing, right? So
I want to, as soon as he's in my arms.
Yes.
I shout him.
And you start dashing, and we basically see... Since Rain is invisible, Darian is hanging like this in the air, and is just being pulled through the air like this. And as he gets off the ground and he looks down, he says, "Under other circumstances, this would be kind of romantic."
Never.
Sure.
Again. Tell me
And
where
you're-
to go.
As you're flying upwards, I'm going to quickly roll something.
No.
As you go up, and you just say to Darian to never mention this, a crossbow bolt goes wide past Darian. They're taking shots at Darian at this point.
Better him than me.
And there is a second bolt comes and gets stuck in his shoulder. And he goes, "Ah! God damn."
He's a big, strong boy. You're a big, strong boy.
A third bolt goes and just grazes his other shoulder and goes just by your ear, Rain.
Faster, faster, faster,
And-
faster.
Darian goes, I'm a big boy, but this hurts. Did you ever have a crossbow bolt in your shoulder?
Yes, I actually have.
Oh, tell me we should exchange experiences. Shouldn't we just fly? Come on, fly!
This is not romantic at all.
I'm changing my mind already. You keep flying on as there's more bolts being fired, pot shots being taken, and the alarm keeps on ringing. While we have this scene playing out in the air over the Lyrandar compound, Dythun and Rebus, you've been booking it. And the thing that the guards did not expect, there were guards down in the garden when you guys climbed up in the window, and they were thinking, you go up back into that room. So we sent some people back into the compound to get back up to that room. They didn't think you would go back out of that room. So now there's fewer people down in the garden who are overwhelmed by a raging Warforged who's running through it, followed by a Leonin fighter who are now... Basically, your goal is to try to get out, right? You're just trying to get out of place as fast as you can and past the guards, not engaging with them, following the rough direction that Delphine went out of as well.
Yeah.
And on your way there are some guards who will be trying to take a few attacks on you. So I'm going to quickly make an attack roll against Dythun. Does I think a 21 hits.
Have already used.
Does it?
Yeah. I was trying to see if I'd already used shield or not, but it does.
That also deals 11 damage as you run by.
Ouchie.
And another guard, or like there's, for our imagination, this is basically a compilation of all different kinds of attacks being done against you. And there's another bunch of guards that also try to attack Rebus as they run past. And I'm pretty sure a 22 hits Rebus.
Yeah.
For 5 points of slashing damage, but you are raging, so that's down to 2 points
Yep.
of slashing damage.
Not for much. Well, I was guessing not for much longer, but now I've been hit, so yeah.
And the two of you keep running, pushing guards aside. And
At some point during this, can I second wind?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
As you keep running, you feel a breeze of vitalization rushing through you. And both of you at one point run down a long gallery with a garden to a side. And you did also notice that it has been raining this whole time. That might also be good to know to Rain, by the way. You've been flying through rain all the time. Yes, Rain has been flying through rain. Haha, back to the scene.
Let's get over it already.
So as you're running through these, some of you enjoying the second wind, could both of you give me a quick perception check?
Me and Rebus?
Flying.
Yeah,
now.
Dythun and Dythun.
Oh,
and Rebus.
perfect. Oh, natural 20. 25.
Ooh.
These dice like
Oh,
it.
yay.
Rebus.
Oh, 22 total.
Nice. So even
Not
while
bad.
you're bobbing and weaving against guards and now having a little bit of a respite as you're running through this gallery, both of your senses are sharp. And you do notice that as you run through the gallery, a garden next to it, you see... Hey, you know that face. You see Maedrith with a bruise on her face, like walking through the garden away from the two of you. She hasn't noticed the two of you. Just running
Beeline.
past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we're not. No distractions, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You run past. There's an open
Actually,
door. ahead.
hold
Good
on,
to
I
know.
will say
Good to know
one
she's
thing.
here.
Is there a guard directly behind us?
At least like 30 feet away from you, still chasing you.
As we pass by Maedrith, I might just like shout in her direction, they went that way just to let her register where we're going, because Dythun trusts Madrith.
Right.
Just to like acknowledge, like, hey, we're going this way.
You shout that out, and Madrith stops in her tracks. She's like still rubbing her face. Not sure what happened to her there. And she hears that, stops, looks around, sees you running, and just, there is a smirk on her face, but she's also shaking her head like, what the hell? And the two of you run on through an open door, getting closer to freedom. And there is one of you who is practically out of the compound. Delphine, you have run down a fairly steep staircase out into some kind of side alley that leads you out through a small gate at the side of the compound, leads into the streets of this fairly wealthy district in Stormhome, and you keep running for a few more streets so that you have some distance, and eventually you can find a little alley where you could tuck into if you want to. What would you like to do?
So the best is not to get spotted that easily by anyone, so basically running from dark alleyway to dark alleyway is the best to go in this situation. Would I have... I most likely have any kind of memory of like where might be some good spots to hide. Like
the first thing that you would know is, what would be the smartest thing to do is not to stay in this part of the city for
Clearly.
too long.
Clearly.
You are in one of the wealthier parts of the city, and if you really want to go and hide,
probably most of the more rotten parts of the city.
or at least you would also know, especially even if you can get closer to the harbor already, there would be better places to hide out there.
Yeah.
So as long as you get out of the so-called Pinnacle District and further towards the harbor, that would already help you.
Okay, yeah.
And
doing that.
Gotcha. So you make sure that you get more distance out there. You know this part of the city as well. You can keep hidden. So far, you would notice as you go from alley to alley that there's also an increased number of guards out here in the streets, because of course they can hear the alarm bells coming from the palace. But you have more room to play with here. You can easily go from one alley to the other, and slowly can make your way towards the more like eastern direction towards the harbor. Not far behind you are Rebus and Dythun. You also find a very steep staircase to get down to. There's a gate on the side that you can out to, and before you know it, you're back in the streets of the city. Both of you having put quite some distance between the guards and yourselves. The large walls of the palace behind you now, you run for a few more yards to get also into some kind of street. The two of you are not familiar with this city. What would you like to do?
I think I'll turn to Rebus. Is Rebus still like rage mode at this point, or has that calmed down by now?
I think technically it should be fading, so I will try my best to not, crash into a wall or something. Like I'll probably just fall to my knees for a moment and just wait until things go back into place.
Right, do that over here in the alley. Okay.
Yeah. And as the yellow light glitches back on, you can hear me saying, "Okay, I think we should look for secluded part of the town, perhaps towards the port, so we can find a vessel."
Where we came is a good idea. sort of like where we came into the city, like not necessarily like
Yeah,
the
it doesn't-
main on the docks out in the open, but like
No, but
that
a place
way.
that might be full of people, easy to get lost in a crowd,
Mhm.
and also with means of acquiring some kind of vehicle. So that should be
Yeah, see,
that should be.
the only problem with that is it's a bit hard for a lion and a warforged to be lost in a crowd. Um, so maybe for now.
Can both of you give me a perception check, please?
Oh, sure.
With disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, fun.
I have a cat advantage. Can I cancel out the disadvantage?
And you already have advantage from your shield, right?
Yeah.
If you spend your cat advantage as well, you can roll with advantage.
Okay.
It's a 16 for Rebus.
22.
Delphine, you say there is it would be hard for a Warforged and a Leonin to just blend into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say that, wherever you and Rebus right now are, like in some kind of alley with a wall nearby, there's a strange kind of flicker on the wall next to you. Like as if there's something moving in the wall.
Like,
Oh.
Does it seem like an illusion?
It seems like kind of as if something is like really leaning against that wall with the same color and texture as the wall and trying to stand very still.
I punch it.
You,
All right.
Rebus, give me an attack roll
Wait.
to punch the thing at the wall.
Is it?
With an arm that still hasn't like the blades
Wait,
haven't
did Reed
folded
see it,
yet,
or did Dyson
and so
see
the
it?
claw is still out, and
Rebus-
it.
I wasn't done
Oh, yeah.
writing yet, but Rebus would have also spotted it with the 16.
Oh, okay.
Rebus would have also spotted it.
Is,
Oh,
is
oh,
this thing
okay.
technically invisible?
It is invisible, yeah.
So it would be disadvantage, wouldn't
With
it?
disadvantage, yes. Disadvantage on the attack roll for Rebus.
Oh yeah. And now I rolled really high, but it's disadvantage. So
Could we still roll really
um,
high again?
14.
You flail out with the arm, and
Like I'm not trying to kill anything. I'm just doing like a,
yeah, just getting a hit in, not trying to kill, but you barely miss the place. And as your arm connects with the wall, whatever you were hitting also changes. This kind of camouflage drops off and like peels off, and you see Haral standing there.
I knew.
Oh.
And she looks at you, and she looks pissed at both of you. Just glares, inhales.
Oh, so sorry. My apologies.
You want to get out of city safely?
Preferably.
I can get you safely to the harbor. But after that, you owe me a conversation.
I believe we already did.
Yes. I'm trying to be a little bit patient right now, but I will be honest. I used up a lot of that.
Right. Tell you what. We were already headed to the harbor anyway. Why don't we work together to make it a little less, a little more beneficial for everyone, right?
Just follow me. I know the best roads. You know, mapped this place out for months, just to have a bunch of. I'm not even getting into that. Just follow me.
Right.
And Haral leads you away through some alleys, which means that Delphine is taking her way down to the harbor. Dython and Rebus are now with a pissed off assassin on their way to the harbor. And Rain,
Great.
you're up in the air. I'm assuming you're flying all out of the compound, right?
Out.
Okay.
But she also told Darian, tell me where to go.
After you help Darian dodge a fire bolt being flung at him from a distance as well, Darian goes, how about we go, I don't know, to the harbor real quick? I have a little ship there. We could get out of city. Nope, I wouldn't stay around here if I were you.
If it's a flashy ship, I will drown you myself. Let's go.
Do you consider a crimson paint flashy?
I dip a little lower, harder than I have to. And we, instead of flying through the air with a conspicuous, gaudy man kind of T-posing through the sky, what we'll do is we're going to take the straightest approach. So even if it means Darian is running and Rain is literally hanging onto his collar, if there is a wall, he's going to magically go over the wall.
Right.
If there's a street,
you're
there's a brook, he's just going to magically go over it.
It's basically assisting him invisibly where necessary.
But we're going in the straightest line possible.
Gotcha. You do exactly that. Past out of the elite district, the wealthy district of Stormhome, past the pinnacle, this large tower in the center of the city, further towards the harbor.
And if
All
we're
of
getting
you
close
have-
to the harbor, because he's the harbor master, if Rain takes off her fur coat, does it de-invisibilify?
What?
The coat itself, just to dress
Um,
Darian.
Yeah, I would say the moment you take off the coat, it becomes visible, of course, again. So you put that over Darian at one point, covering up his usual clothing. And you see him like look at the coat, but understand the implications at this point. And he wears it as you make your way further.
Okay. Well, yeah, in terms of romance, you know, May's probably had worse.
So, the party, in parts, split up, has made it out of the palace. One of you, by herself, going to the harbor. Two of you, accompanied by one who was hired to assassinate the matriarch, and another one with Darian. As all of you are making your way to wherever you're going, are there any attempts among you to try to reach out to other parts of the party?
Rain cannot cast the spell as she's invisible right now. Or will
Is
not,
it-
rather.
Is it Rain that has the other sending stone that's connected to Dythun's?
Yep.
Okay, I know I ask this every single time. The answer never changes, but I'm still going to continue to ask.
It helps the audience too.
True.
We have a pair of between the two of us. Hi, Charity.
Hi.
So Dythun is gonna, like, if we're not like openly passing on a street, like taking a second, gonna activate the sending stone.
As you activate that, you see that Haral looks at you, immediately turns to you. To who does that connect?
Have I already like cast the spell at this point?
Yeah, you would have already like activated it.
Okay, so if I say anything, it's gonna be part of the spell.
But it's telepathic. sending stone.
Yeah, sending. So you still do the sending. You can still speak
Okay.
and not waste the words.
Okay.
I'll count for you.
Okay, so not in the spell yet, but to Harol, one of the other members, not in the palace. They're very well hidden. I'm sure. It'll be fine. Okay, in the spell. We are headed south, finding safety in the docks with Harol, not with Delphine yet. Are you safe? We are safe for now.
Okay, so as Rain is flying like side to side with Darian, there's another shrub. Oop. It's an item, so I should keep my invisibility, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
With Darian. Also harbor bound with a hyphen, so it's one word.
Grammatically correct sending stones.
Glad Harol's with you. Darian has ship. Crimson. Pause for DM. What did Darian say?
Crimson
Street?
paint. As in, it's crimson. It's crimson painted. It's not the name of the ship. It
Okay.
has a crimson color paint on it.
Ship. Crimson ship. I'm just gonna sacrifice 2 words here. Let's start there. Then find actual hiding place. Hope Delphine is okay.
Ooh. If I counted correctly, there was exactly 25 words.
Yeah, quick hydration.
All thanks for the power of the hyphen. I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Stay hyphenated, everyone.
I feel I should learn German just for sending.
So, that's what you received back, Dython?
Right. Dython, I think, is finally grasped at this point. He can't talk into it anymore. He's finally understanding that. Okay, Rebus, Harol, it seems Darian is with Darian's with Rain. They're heading also southbound and looking for a crimson ship. There can't be that many like red ships, right? Like surely there's like one.
That's wonderful news. That means we're all going to the port. So,
Well, I mean, hopefully we don't. I don't know where Delphine is still.
Harol has her arms crossed, listens to the two of you talking. Darian, as in Darian de Lyrandar, the one that you were with as well?
Yes,
Indeed.
that's the one and only. Thankfully.
What part does he play in your plans?
Honestly, at this point,
more than he should.
He's the
Yeah.
mascot.
I think he's I mean, I think we kind of just like keep bringing him along for some reason. He seems to be getting himself in trouble a lot, and I don't know. I just kind of feel bad for him.
So
I don't know if he'll
far,
be leaving with us.
we've confronted him, we have rescued him, we have escaped a murder attempt by him, and we have gotten him
Oh.
into a whole mess about Delphine. So your guess is as good as mine at this point.
Look, things are
Fascinating.
complicated. It's
I understand that. And you mentioned the Crimson Ship?
yes, I believe so. It's a bad thing.
Rain did say, let's start there and then find an actual hiding place.
I don't like
Right.
I don't think that's our like. We're taking the Crimson Ship and leaving. I think that's where we're
We're meeting
convening.
up there.
The
Yes.
convergence
Right.
point, yeah. Any word on Delphine de Lyrandar?
Not yet. The sending stone only goes one way.
I see. Well, to be honest, the only thing in my task description is that I know for sure that she got out.
Is that really the only thing? I feel like there was another,
The only
minor
thing in regard
detail.
The thing in regards to Delphine.
Okay.
The main objective of my task here, well, we have to reschedule that.
It's unfortunate.
Yes, to the Crimson Ship, shall we?
Right.
And off you head further towards the harbor. Delphine, you, as someone who grew up here in Stormhome and who is very accustomed to getting her way around here, you would have already slowly made your way back to the harbor area where you were heading. Are you going through any kind of efforts to kind of conceal who you are, to draw less attention to you, or do you do basically anything to be stealthy?
So very so the stealth part, yes, that definitely the stealth part. Also, like she doesn't has like many stuff with her anyway. It's hard to conceal if you have like nothing that helps with this.
Yeah, but are you, for example, like taking off your hat or
Yeah,
something?
definitely taking
yeah.
off the hat, trying like taking the hair, trying pulling it back together, shoving a lot of the hair under the coat,
Gotcha. Yeah. At
stuff
least
like
doing a
this.
little bit of concealing that.
Yeah, so that not everyone is like immediately like spotting.
Gotcha. And by foot and with your brisk tempo, it takes you about 45-50 minutes to get towards the harbor. You see some familiar places that you still remember from your youth. There's still some of the same taverns and inns here. Just outside of the harbor is one of the most luxurious places to go, one of the Gold Dragon Inns of House Galanda, which is a very stark contrast to the rest of the harbor. And you see there's a lot of ships here resting on the waves, and not too far from you are quite a few taverns and inns and other places that you haven't been for a while. Now that you're here in the harbor, what's your plan, Delphine?
Okay, so like hiding in one of the ships is most likely one of the worst ideas, especially when they are starting searching that area. So like getting out of there would be a hell. So does she recall anyone who might own one of these taverns? that she had like a more or less, or at least a better connection with.
Better connection would it already do for at least not getting punched the moment you get into
Yes.
the tavern? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
There would be, not too far away from here, there is a small, really just a small watering hole, which is called the tar pit. And it's like a really small bar, maybe just 2 tables, a very short bar to actually sit at. And last time you were here, it was run by a human male known as Grant with 2 T at the end. You actually won quite a few gold coins from Grant in some gambling, which he never really got over. But you also made sure that every time you were in the bar, no one else tried to start any kind of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a good place to start.
Yeah, okay, going there, since this might be the best idea for now.
Gotcha. You get your way down towards the docks, part some creaky wooden walkways, and indeed, the tar pit is still there. Still the same shoddy sign over the entrance. A small door you have to like duck to get in there. Maybe thinking about how would Rebus or Dythun ever get in here. But you get in there, and from the outside everything was similar. But the moment you get in, you see it's still small. It's still very dirty and grimy. But last time you were here, Grant wasn't the kind of guy to decorate places with flowers. And now you see on every table, there's these small glasses with just a few flowers in them, little bit of water, and combined with the grimy smell, there's actually a kind of sweet aroma here that creates a weird smell sensation. And as you enter, you can hear from behind the bar, you hear, "Oh, howdy there!" And standing there is a Warforged, a Warforged with a shirt on, and a towel on his shoulder. It's the Warforged actually has forged on their head a kind of a mohawk on top out of steel, and there are lights put into the sides of the mohawk. And the Warforged says, "Welcome to the tar pit. How can I help you?"
Like, taking a bit aback by that, because, like, this is a weird scene in this wool bar. Like,
Yeah. And at this point, you are almost the only customer. At one of the tables, there's just this one dwarf who lies face down on the table and is snoring, while you're being happily greeted by this Warforged.
is Grant here?
"Oh, I am terribly sorry. The former proprietor of the tar pit had a terrible, terrible accident, and this place went up for sale. I got into this business and enjoying my role as a barkeep."
Wow, okay.
Like, trying to comprehend this in the situation right now, like, oh fuck.
Delphine.exe stopped working.
Yes, kinda. Like,
Would you care for a drink?
no.
Would you care for a seat?
No. I'm
Do you
here.
need a listening ear?
I need a nice little safe spot to hide.
Well, I don't have many customers here in the tar pit, so the chance of people finding you here is fairly low. So
It's
if
still
that
too
will-
high.
Would you like to stay in my kitchen? You seem like a
I like
trustworthy person.
I like this Warforged who is like, hey, dude, I need a place to hide. And they're like, yes, I will provide with this place to hide that you need. Stranger that I know nothing about, please. We're all hiding from authorities, it's fine.
Okay. I will take the kitchen from now. You have never seen me here, right? And if someone comes in here that looks like one of the guards from outside, you don't know where. You don't know my face.
Who are you, exactly? I do not know your face indeed. Come, let me show you my kitchen.
Okay, okay.
And you're being guided into this excuse for a kitchen. It's just like this really small room with like a few stoves in there, and you can just see a rat skitter away as you get in there. I'm sorry, I just have this little stool here to sit on, and not much else to provide you in this kitchen. But I understand your need is for secrecy right now. So I will close the door and just knock once I can open it again.
Okay.
Enjoy your stay. The door is closed.
The need to just scream right now is so high.
And with that feeling of screaming, the rest of the party, Rain especially, you had
Has it
received a
been
message.
an hour? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You had received a message from Dythun and everything to you exchange the information to go to a crimson painted ship and everything. And you do notice as you get towards the harbor and you have exerted not just magical but also physical energy to help Darian along, you start noticing that your spell of invisibility starts wearing off.
Okay. Darren, wait. Darren, wait. Wait. I will become very conspicuous very soon. Okay.
You tell me that? I'm wearing this terrible cloak right now.
Bop. Because he doesn't know where it's coming. Okay. Tired of running around like little rats all around the place without knowing where we're all going.
Yeah.
You know where Dyphon and Rebus are headed? I have no idea where Delphine is. As I notice the spell is starting to flicker out, I'm going to just cast the spell so my invisibility is now gone.
Vroom.
I cast Sending to Delphine.
Sending to Delphine, who is just being put in a kitchen.
And Delphine hears. If you'd have listened to me, this could have been avoided. You'd have been safe, since the matriarch was marked for death. Location? And stay there.
Delphine, as the door closes in the kitchen, you hear exactly those words in your head, and you do know that you can respond to them.
Mm-hmm. Not answering the stuff that she said beforehand, just answering like, I'm in the tar pit. It's small, it's cramped. Better not to bring everyone here. And
Okay. I know where she is. And hopefully she'll stay there.
Where exactly is she? Did she get out safe? Unharmed?
She's in somewhere cramped, a little dirty. She sounds excited to be there.
We should pick her up as fast as possible.
No, we should not. We should communicate with the others first. Now, Harbor Master, I want you to use your exquisite professional knowledge and get us as sneakily close as possible to your gaudy ship so we can find the others and get a better, more conspicuous place.
Follow me. And he leads you further into the harbor. And he is making sure, Rain, that you stay as close as possible to him.
Mhm.
And he's basically taking you on a little bit of a detour through some side alleys to get you closer to the actual ship place.
Yeah, and
And-
the turban, the shawl I had wrapped around my head is now just kind of like over my head and around my neck. Like I feel
Right.
the ears are the things that gives her the most away. She could be a sea elf
Exactly.
if she's blue, right? Who knows?
Exactly. So you get you go towards the harbor there, and you do already spot from a distance, after a few more minutes of walking through the harbor, you do see indeed a crimson painted ship in the harbor. And not too far away from it, in between some crates and boxes, you can also spot Dythun and Rebus that are around the ship at this point.
Okay. Telepathic connection. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm gonna flip a coin. Dyson.
Zip.
Welcome.
Hello?
Is Haral still with you?
I assume so.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Harl's still here.
All right. I will confer briefly with Darian and find an actual hiding place here. One moment. Darian, where's an actual place we can hide? There must be some abandoned warehouse or something we can lay low.
First you want a ship, and now you want a warehouse? What is it?
I
you're actually-
want to maintain your pretty little blood, whatever's left of it, inside your body.
Not far from here, there's a warehouse that we could use.
All right.
You should also get Delphine.
Momentarily.
God, this coke itches.
And following Darian, I will also telepathically relay messages to a Dython. So we never actually met at the ship. We met in its periphery because it's a crimson ship. And I hope to relay and we can get to said warehouse stealthily.
Gotcha.
sneakily.
Gotcha. That information is also relayed. You move your way over to the warehouse. And before we go to that, we're going to take one more short break for today. One more 5-minute break. And then we see if we can succeed in getting the band back together today, or if something else terrible happens. Only one way to find out. Stick around for a bit, stretch your legs, take a drink, enjoy the comfort of your pets, and we are back in 5 minutes. See you in 5.
Bye, Charlie. Oh.
And here we are again for our third and final part of today's stream. Our party is slowly getting back together after escaping from the House Lyrandar compound. Some of them have friends in tow, others do not. How will this end? We're about to find out as we set our scene here in a mostly empty and small warehouse in the harbor of Stormhome. We find here Rain, who has a beautiful shawl wrapped around her head. We have Darian with a gaudy fur coat on, which she really doesn't enjoy. And also having made their way to this warehouse are Dythun Rebus and the half-orc assassin Haral, who has the frowniest frown of anyone here. Gathered around some boxes and crates, all of you are here. And Darian says, well, does this do as a hideout? What was that scene that you
I
threw?
walk up to Darian and I slap him.
Ah.
Okay, first of all, You could have done a little bit more to help in that situation. Secondly, a red ship? Really? You don't have anything that's not gaudy as hell? Like, I understand, like, fashion and, like, making a statement, but really? Come on. You can do better.
It is crimson, not red.
I also would like to point out that a slap from a Leonin paw might not be like, it might not hurt too much, unless it's like an actual, you know.
It was a
hit.
statement slap. It was
Yes,
not
it was.
not a damage slap.
Statement.
It's like a slap with oven mittens, you know.
Yes. He got the beans.
Fluffy.
It's fine.
Fluffy.
I don't know how that works, but somehow it does. Don't worry about it. It's like, oh, Rain, what is? What do we do from here? Do you have a way to get in contact with Delphine, or?
I do, and I did.
Wonderful.
But before we get our friend, I'd like to talk to our new friend.
I find friend a daring statement in this case.
I'm a very daring person.
I've noticed.
Good. And the sort of little thing you were embarking on takes some other very strong and powerful friends too.
It does.
I'd like to know who your friends were.
On what grounds, considering this current situation, would I feel like I would have the need to introduce you to my friends? I don't know what
Maybe
kind
they're
of
already
stunt
friends of
you-
ours.
I don't know what kind of stunt you and your companions here tried to pull there, but it upset a plan month in the making. Something that cannot be easily redone quickly. Something that a certain family, and he looks over at Darian, or at least a member of it, paid quite some good money for.
I thought so.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, I found it very No, I'll take that back. I found it very good-natured, down to earth. Very wonderful that such a high-ranking family member would go out of the way to ensure that a bedroom was repainted.
Yes. That's very much in line with the kind of personality my contractor has.
Well, boo-hoo to you. We made quite a commotion. Maybe you could have gotten the job done too then. You're welcome.
Not a lack of trying from my end, but I have quite the set of skills and talents gifted to me, but even those would have made it nigh impossible to get to the matriarch with the entire estate up and high alert.
You know, would them concerned about people leaving not make it easier for you to get deeper in?
While they also raise security on the matriarch herself.
Fair.
I don't have to bore you with the details of the plan. Fortunately, my contact inside the house helped me with a lot of those details. But rest assured that there will be a lot of people who will be very dissatisfied with the result of today. But personally, and she looks around, if you're interested in my personal opinion, I'm already fairly glad that I got out alive. And that all of you got out of life, so now we can work out a way of how you can repay me and my friends.
One moment. I need to catch my breath. I'm tired. And with that, I kind of grab Darian and force him to sit with his back next to a crate. And then I just kind of
lie down and put my head on his lap, and I look at him quickly, and I close my eyes, and I like, and that telepathic connection. Darian. You know, a part of me is glad that you don't live in the beautiful elite part of the city, not within the palace, and that you're a lowly harbor master. Because that means you chose not to kill a family member you cared about, or at least failed. And you express some guilt about that. If you were living in the castle, having the life you would have lived had your mission been successful, we would not be the friends we are now, would we?
Are we friends?
You want to know me as an enemy?
No.
Friend. Do you wish to see your matriarch taken down?
No, but...
Do you wish for her to be threatened and taken down a few notches?
Yes, that is more what I would consider, but...
And would you like to make it a bit gainful for yourself? The grand hero of the matriarch.
I have a feeling there's a plan brewing in your mind. And I have also a feeling that at this point it is too late for me to back out of it.
You can back out. You can go back to your family.
I think I've at this point, put my lot in with all of you.
I personally don't really care whether or not the matriarch is killed. It is entertaining if someone high and mighty that goes out of their way to hurt one of my dear friends gets taken down and tumbled down a few notches. It's exciting. And to do that, we might have to play along with Harald a little bit. If she succeeds, if Harald succeeds, then that's simply on the matriarch for not being able to defend herself.
I agree. I think there are opportunities here.
And if you are the one to unmask at the very last second this plot, and also reveal the foolish decisions and the foolish target the Matrix made of herself, that could facilitate a key promotions. Just don't forget where you're from, Darian de Lyrandar. I won't. Friend.
Rain is so scary.
Thank you.
One of the rules of D&D is to never have someone roll for something where the roll does not matter. Either if the roll is too hard or if things just make sense.
Rain is trying to make it make sense to Darian, like...
And it absolutely does at this point. He just nods while he's processing things mentally.
And Rain all this time has just literally had her face upwards, like literally eyes closed and just like catching her breath. Rain to anyone a little disheveled, sweat covered.
Yeah. While that is happening, Haral, just basically what Haral sees is that Rain is doing that, lying down, and she turns to the rest of the party. All right, if there's anyone who wants to get work done, unlike your Triton here, you want to... What was it exactly that you were trying to pull over there? You were trying to get out Delphine de Lyrandar, right? On whose head a bounty was placed.
In goal, yes, that was what we were doing.
But then she apparently got herself out as well.
Very capable of that one.
Then why, may I ask, were you there in the first place?
Well, we weren't just going to leave the island. We were there in case she needed help, in case something went wrong, or in case we underestimated her means of her confines and she did need help getting out.
A backup plan, so to speak.
Yeah,
We were there because we are her friends.
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to misrepresent your relationships with Delphine in any way. It is good to have friends. It is just something that in my profession is very hard to have. She should be lucky that she has you bunch of idiots who are willing to go through this for her. But that still made the situation extremely problematic.
It usually does.
So, there's a few things that are going to happen. First, they're going to come through the city looking for us, or at least for you people. Stormhome is not small. It's going to take a while until they find you, but you'd rather not be in the city. Second, they're probably going to put out bounties for you, and they're going to send those to all the major cities on the continent. They're going to get some as accurate as possible faces on those wanted posters. So you may want to be careful where you're actually spending time. And third of all, they're going to spread all of this through their family network. Every Lyrandar will know about this. Everyone working with the Lyrandars will know about this. They will try to find out your names. They will try to make sure that as many people as possible know who they're dealing with.
Well,
You should be careful dealing with any Lyrandar that you don't trust.
I mean, I'm usually careful of anyone who happens to have a dragon mark.
Are you now?
Indeed.
She looks at you. She really takes you in again. You have good reason to. Are you just gonna lie around here? And she just now shouts at Rain.
I sit up. I will go get Delphine. We are not to go as a crowd. I will bring her back here.
Darian gets up and says, "Are you?"
No. Actually,
But I
Darian,
know that.
tell me, what is the name of a ship that has arrived in the last day?
The name of a ship that has arrived in the just a random name of a ship?
The harbor master would know all the ships that have arrived. What is the ship that has arrived in the last day?
The Peregrine.
The Peregrine. What is the captain's name of the Peregrine?
Captain Osmark.
Their trade?
He trades in wool and
Mercantile.
lumber. Mercantile, yes.
All right. And that should be enough. All right, I'll be back soon. As I walk out the door, I will use disguise self. And I will turn myself into a half-elf a male sailor. But imagine if Darian had grown up not in a very wealthy-to-do family, so like stringy hair, got-faced, mismatched teeth, spindly, the opposite picture perfect, but half-elf male. Like darker, greasier hair. Clearly not Darian, but just like this lowly, cumbersome half-male looking.
Right, exactly. You take that form as you go towards the leave the warehouse.
I go jogging and I go out and to fast forward because I'm running the time to try to find a hole in the wall known as the tar pit.
Tar pit. And you make your way there. And we do switch over for a moment to Delphine, who is in the tar pit, still in the kitchen, who has been who has been in this small kitchen with just a stool under the stove here, received a message from Rain to just wait here. Is there anything in the meantime that you do, Delphine, to get over there while you're just sitting there?
Oh, so in this kitchen, is there a window?
There's like this super small little window that is just there for ventilation, basically. You cannot fit through it.
Fuck. Oh.
You can just it is currently cranked open, and you can just hear that there's this seagull sitting in front of it making this annoying sound.
I want to kill myself right now. Yeah. Like, besides that seagull, is there anything, like, could I climb onto something to take a peek through that window?
Oh yeah, sure. There's like boxes that you could get up on and at
cool,
least
cool.
peek through the window. And as you go up there, you see, startled by your appearance in front of the window, that seagull just flies off and goes to some ship mast in the distance. But you can actually see, you can see out onto the docks that are nearby. And you see people walking by, a mishmash of people that walk around there, doing their things.
Okay. So it seemed like down here no one is that startled at the moment.
No, not so far. You don't see any kind of, well, you see guards here, but most of them would be under the harbor master's jurisdiction, and you kind of know that the harbor master is kind of probably
Somewhere
dealing with other things right now. So probably the proper chain of command has not been followed yet. So there is not much attention down here in the harbor.
Okay. And I don't hear anything from the outside of the on the other side of the door.
Well,
So far.
once you peeked out and looked out to see how the situation is outside, you hear on the other side of the door, you hear that Warforged going in, "Hello, welcome to the tar pit." And Rain, you in your disguise, you step in and you see this Warforged with a glowing mohawk. And by now there's a dwarf on one table who is no longer leaning with his face down on the table, but has shifted his sleeping position to lean against the wall with his mouth open and just going like.
Hello, I'd like a drink, please.
You are at the right place. Here at the Tar Pit, we have a selection of 27 different drinks. Would you like a blue drink? And holds up a blue bottle. Would you like a red drink? Holds up a red bottle.
Oh my god.
And I will say, looking around, I clearly don't see Delphine anywhere.
No.
I will say in a slightly louder voice, not screaming, but nonetheless, like, you know, once upon a time, I had a magnificent Kuryeva drink. Back in Sharn with a good friend. Oh, the memories I've had.
I wish I could see that friend again now.
You hear that, Delphine?
Yeah.
But you don't recognize. Wait, this guy's self doesn't change the
No,
voice,
it
right?
does not.
Yeah, you would be like, wait, this sounds familiar.
Like peeking through that door, like slightly opening it. It's probably squeaking like hell.
Do I see a Delphine peeking?
Make a
Most likely.
perception check.
Yeah.
I need to see in order to.
Yeah.
It's a nat one.
Wow. Oh no!
You
And she was a
Your
beauty
method
to
acting.
behold. But she broke my heart, barkeep.
She broke your heart. This sounds like you need a shoulder and an ear to listen to you. And
I'll take a blue drink.
a blue drink. And the Warforged sits down on the other side of the bar,
As I'm
And-
still looking around.
puts down a bottle of the blue drink, leans forward. How did she break your heart?
Coming out, having my gun out, pointing at Rain right now. Shitty is still in the disguise.
Yeah.
You sound like someone I know, but you don't look like that person.
Telepathic
Please,
connection.
ignore that person. I never saw her. She does not belong here.
If you say so, barkeep, you don't know that person. I've also never seen her.
There are strange things sometimes coming from my kitchen. This is one of the strange things.
Delphine will hear in her head while Rain is nodding to the Warforge.
The party's collected. Let's go sneakily.
Putting away that gun.
Barkeep, your momentary flash of compassion has really lifted my spirits. I thank you for your kind hospitality.
You are most welcome. The Tar Pit is known for its unique brand of hospitality. If you want to talk more about your broken heart, please feel free to say so. I have not just one, but 2 ears to listen with.
I will come back, and I might recommend others to do the same. Just
Please
in
do
case
so.
you indeed have not seen this person I am also not seeing.
We are collectively not seeing that person. I wish you a great day, broken-hearted individual. And then he turns over to Delphine. I wish you a great day as well, person I have not seen.
I slide 2 silver. I don't know what this drink costs.
Oh, that's way more than what it would cost. You takes it to silver. That is awfully kind. This will help me forget the people I saw.
I love him.
And
As
the
I
two of
go
you
to the door open, yeah.
And yeah, you get out of the tar pit and make your way over to where the rest of the party is hiding out, back to that warehouse. And we end the session as there is a scene where the most of the party are in the warehouse. Haral just leaning against some of the crates. Darian has taken off the coat at this point, and he's just like looking at it like with disgust. And at one point, the warehouse door opens, and a disguised Rain comes in with Delphine. Everyone in the party looks at each other, and that's the shot we end with for today's session as we wrap up for today.
Oh god, we'll make it out eventually, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is, you now have an assassin with you who still needs to get some killing done. You still want to see
Right.
what actually was up with that. And you still need to get out of the city. So, but at least the party is back together.
Yay.
That only cost all my spell slots.
It went
Great!
according to plan.
Everything went according to plan.
When you do not have a plan,
Perfectly.
everything just works out.
Yeah.
But we jumped
Oh.
off a high place, so at least there's that.
We
That was at
got
least-
the check mark, caused chaos, jump from a high place.
Especially large checkmark cause chaos.
Exactly. Double check mark that one.
And Darian did not hear it, but at least out of character, someone said that they at least care a bit for Darian. That is nice. That is also
That's
a nice
true.
takeaway.
Yes.
Oh.
Poor
Well,
guy.
I mean,
We have so
even if you
much
didn't
character
say-
growth here.
even if you didn't say
Yeah.
it, Darren got lifted through the sky.
Yeah.
You got,
Yeah.
you got multiple presents from Rain today, a fan and a fur coat.
Beautiful.
I-
That was
I-
all
I-
the same day.
I think the carrying through the sky is the closest that you will get to flying through the air in a long time.
Oh no! Oh! Ow! That hurt me!
Hi. Ooh.
Damn!
It's like the Titanic flying, but instead it's more surface area for crossbow bolts.
You know, I'm not making a lot comment, but they are super sharp.
Amazing. Amazing. And
Wow.
that is a great note to end on. And if you joined us today on this session and you liked what you saw, feel free to follow us here on Twitch, or feel even freer to sub to us if you want to. We stream every Tuesday for this campaign that we run here. And we do it here on Twitch. So if you want to give your support here on Twitch, feel free to give us a sub or a follow. Also, if you only joined us today on our 39th session and you want to catch up with the previous 38 sessions and all the other stuff that we run on this channel, you can find the VODs of everything on our YouTube channel, which is at www.youtube.com/Horde of Tales. Once you're caught up with all of that, you can also, of course, follow us on our Twitter, which is also below the stream, where you can find us at Horde of Tales there to keep tabs on stuff that we do here. And we just came off of a weekend of Shine a Light event that was great fun. We got almost 400 euros for One World, One Ocean there, which was great fun. We had a lot of other groups joining us here who did fun games with cool content, which was a great event to do. And later this week, we're also back here on Tuesday for the next session of 12 Occult Eye, run by on Thursday.
You said Tuesday.
I said Tuesday. Apologies. Thursday. Thank you very much, Austin. Sharp. On Thursday, 12 Occult Eye, run by Amelia, who is running Witches and Demons through a fantastic game with a lot of creep factor and a lot of tension, so to say. You should definitely tune in. We're back. We're doing that on Thursday, so keep an eye on our Twitter's socials there, and generally just keep an eye on where we're to find on what we're doing here. Did I miss any announcements? Anyone else who wants to share any announcements?
Let's see. If you want to see me play a 6-armed Ewok character in a space setting, that will be Mondays at Manapot Studios at 7:30 GMT with an amazing cast. We have a dragonkin. We have like a minotaur person. We have an engineer. We just had a spaceship battle. We were running to different guns, turrets, torpedoes, lasers, alien species we've never heard of, explosions. It's a lot of fun. Really recommend. I have another game coming up in a few weeks, but I still don't have the final details for that yet. So I hope to share with that y'all soon. And thank you also, Marcus, for running today. Sorry, it got chaotic and pulling apart, but I'm glad we were able to park it in a way that makes sense, I hope, a bit.
Exactly. Was fun to run. Anything else? Anyone else want to share? Anything else going on?
I see that we're going to raid perhaps the 8th dungeon. Remember that corgi game you played with Roll for Good? Kat is playing there.
I know. She's on the 8th dungeon. We are, just want to double check, nothing else to share from anyone? I always find it so rude if I cut people off, like, yeah, we're going to raid. Oh, wait, I want to share something. No, I see some shaking heads there.
Not yet.
then
You know, I can just click raid whenever if we are talking like 10 minutes more. Okay, with that.
Carl, I don't know how this map works.
Bye.
I am just a dungeon master. I do not know how this technology works. This is beyond my ken. So no, it's fine. We're going to wrap up here. We're going to raid D8 Dungeons, who are also running fantastic games on their channel. So please follow us along as we raid over there. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks to all of my players for being here again. And we will be back with this campaign next week. Take care, stay hydrated, and stay hyphenated. And we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.